What's up, everybody? Jordan from Ginger Snap Disc Golf. Today we're going to be talking about this concept that I think is the reason why a lot of people never really reach the distance that they want to reach. And so this concept has two parts, and we're going to talk about both in this video, and I'm going to break that down. I'm going to play a few holes as I talk about these two concepts. My wife are about to be going on a trip to Salt Lake City for our 3-year anniversary, so it's the first video I'm going to post in probably at least another week. So during that time, check out some of the older videos I posted if you haven't already. Also check out my most recent YouTube short I posted. Somehow it's kind of gone semi-viral and it has like 36,000 views, which is kind of insane. So go check that out. Let's get into it. All right, so the first parts of this concept of having patience in the pocket, I'm mainly talking about with your plant foot in this first concept. A lot of times what happens is when people are throwing, especially if they're trying to throw far, their first instinct is like immediately when their foot plants is to like just throw as hard as they can, and what that results in usually is like rolling over the front of your foot and you lose pretty much all of your power. And just to clarify, like I usually do in these videos, I'm not a form coach or an expert or a professional or anything like that, even though I don't know what technically qualifies you as a form coach in disc golf yet. But either way, I'm just a redheaded disc golfer that's learned how to throw 400 plus through a lot of trial and error, and that's the goal for a lot of people. So I'm hoping anything that I share can help you get that goal. Hole 1 out here at Rock Creek is, I think, a 600-foot par 4 all the way out to the gold basket. Really, it's just a couple of placement shots. Really cool course in general, but also a really cool hole. I'm going to throw a couple off the first tee. I'm going to go with the Shaman from Gateway first. Oh wow, it's kind of pure. Not bad. There it is. All right, so like I said, the first concept and the first part of this patience in the pocket distance concept that I'm talking about is really with your plant foot. And I talked about this like in the first video I ever made. And I talked about how you would rather throw the disc later after planting than earlier when you plant. And really the whole idea behind that is that if you're not patient after you plant your foot and you're trying to throw far, a lot of times what's going to happen is you lose all power, all distance, everything like that, because you're not giving your body enough time to actually get like power and weight into the throw. And I mean, a lot of people make this mistake. It's very common. I made this mistake early on. Ooh, that might not stay in bounds. So many fortunate kicks. A little short, but at least it's in bounds. Maybe? Oh, dude, it dropped. Ah. Good thing this isn't a putting video. 360 feet. There's a Mendo left of the power pole down there that's probably like at 300 feet. And so I'm going to throw a Millennium Disc Vela. Just try to hyzer flip it and see what I can do. Actually throw it a little bit flat and see if it'll just push and stable out. Then I'm going to throw a CD1 and see if I can hyzer flip it there. So there's a little bit of a headwind, so I have a feeling these might turn over into the wind. Oh, be stable, be stable, be stable. Oh yeah, that's great. I think that's parked, maybe a little short, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's gonna flip, right? Hit the Mando. Oh well, first shot counts, right? Maybe fairway into a headwind on a 360 foot rope of a shot. It's not the best idea, but I think it worked with the Millennium Disc Vela, which I think is just like a flat eagle. I don't really know from Innova. Anyways, having that patience with your plant foot really does make a difference, because if you're not patient after you plant, you're never going to give your body enough time to get weight into the throw and get power into the throw. Unfortunately, I see this a lot, and I can relate to it a lot, because when I first started throwing, and I'll see if I can find like an old clip of what my form looked like a long time ago. When I first started throwing, I did this really, really badly. I would plant, and out of excitement of trying to see where the disc would go or trying to throw it hard, I would just continue to roll over my front foot and lose all power. And this came from not being patient when I would plant. One of the main parts of this whole being patient in the pocket. All right, we're probably like 20 feet short. I'm okay with that though. Oh, dude. Oh, that's bad. And that's a really loud truck. can't believe I missed high. That's usually not my miss. And so the last thing I'll say about being patient with your plant foot is that you would rather be late after you plant and throw than early. I don't really know if you can actually take too long to throw after you plant. I guess there probably is a point in which you can do that, especially if you're not balanced very well. But from my experience, if I seem like I've started my pull through later rather than sooner, it's always worked out for me. Instead of like if I just plant and immediately throw, it almost always works out badly for me. So I don't know. I don't want to show you an example of that, but there's cars parked to the right and I really don't want to hit any of them if I grip lock. I'll throw the berg. See if I can throw the berg, and I'm just going to throw right after I plant. Oh God. Thank God I threw the berg. Okay. You can tell that was like an immediate grip lock. Yep. I'm really glad I did not hit those vehicles. So now I'm going to be more patient with my pull through. Oh, that's still hosering out, but either way, better. This next concept, it's more about having patience in your pull through. And so we've talked about being patient after you plant and how that can affect like power, how it can affect getting your weight shift and your hips and all sorts of other things into your throw. Having patience in your pull through, I think mainly affects smoothness, but it can also affect your power as well. I don't really know the science or the logic behind it necessarily, but I do know when I pull the disc through versus when I push the disc through, I have a lot more power, smoothness, ability to hit gaps and everything. So I'm going to talk about this concept more on a hole that requires hitting a tight wooded gap. And this is a lot tougher of a hike than I thought it was going to be. And there's rocks everywhere. So I'll see y'all up there. And so you're probably wondering, all right, Jordan, you're talking about distance and having patience in your pull through. Why are you on a 320 foot wooded hole? And the reason why I'm choosing specifically to talk about this part of this concept here on this hole is because I feel like personally, I'm most tempted to look and see where my disc is going when I know I have to hit a gap. And I feel like other people are like that as well. And when you start looking for the disc before you've even fully thrown the disc, that's when you start getting into, you're now trying to push the disc through and you're not being patient in your pull through and pulling the disc all the way through. And so that's what we're going to talk about. What I'm talking about is after you've already fully planted, you've waited, you've coiled, all the things. And when you get here to the power pocket, a lot of people end up doing this and pushing the disc through instead of this and continuing pulling the disc all the way through, letting their body naturally pull their head around, and then look where your disc is. Try first with a Centurion that has this cool taco stamp on it. We're gonna see if we can get this to flip up and start moving to the right where the basket is. Hit the gap. Oh dude, it was about to counter skip. But hopefully you could tell, like, I kept my head down all the way through the throw, and I threw it a little low, but I was still able to hit the gap. And if I would have tried to just push that disc through, chances are I would have ended up grip locking it off into the abyss to the right. That was just a grip lock. And so with this concept, something you're going to notice is it is very, very difficult to notice whether or not you are doing this, especially until you can get the actual feel of what it feels like to do this and to not do this. And I've talked about stuff like this before, and people sent me a video of explaining how it looks like Eagle McMahon like pushes the disc through instead of pulling the disc through. Because from behind the backwards point of view, it is really difficult to understand and see that professionals pull the disc through, they don't push it through. And so I would encourage you, look that video up, and I might link it below, I don't know, of a forward-facing view of Eagle McMahon. And you can tell when you're facing him and he's throwing, he actually has a pretty deep pull through before he actually even starts to move his shoulders forward. This logic is not just based off of like my opinion, it's what I've actually seen pros do. So it can be really, really tough to notice, but once you do actually start to focus on it a lot, you can actually tell a difference of the feeling of when you pull the disc through versus when you start to like push it and get ahead of yourself. All right, this skipped over to hole 18. It's like a 500-foot par 4. It goes downhill the whole way. You can tell you've got two main gaps that you need to hit, and you kind of just want to hyzer out to the left. Again, the reason why I'm choosing to talk about this particular part of the concept in wooded holes, I really do feel like people are a lot more likely to look and kind of get their shoulders out of their throw quickly when they're trying to hit a gap versus it's just an open field shot. It's easy to trust your disc in a wide open field, more so when you're trying to hit like a 10-foot gap. I'm gonna go with a nuke, a destroyer, and then this Vela again, and just try to hit them all on a hyzer. And hopefully you can see that I'm keeping my head down all the way through. And then after my follow through happens is when I'm looking at my shot. Nuke first. Oh, dude, that's beautiful if it gets past. How in the world? Dude, I don't even want to throw another shot. That's like, I'm pretty sure that's putting for eagle. All right, I'm not exactly putting for eagle. I'm still like 100 feet short, but God, that was such a good shot. Uh-oh. Be a berg, be a berg, be a berg. That's tough. Good thing this isn't a putting video. All right, I'm gonna give you my final thoughts, my final review, and where the channel is gonna be going in the future. Pretty excited about it. All right, so the final thoughts, the conclusion is that when you are patient with your plant foot, you allow your body to get weight and power into the throw. And when you're patient with your pull through, you allow the disc to go all the way through that power pocket before you start throwing your shoulders out of whack. This has just helped me see a lot of distance gain, and I really do think this is the reason why a lot of people don't reach necessarily the distance that they're looking for, whatever distance that might be. For some it's 300, for some it's 400, some it's 500. Hope this helps either way. And like I said, I got some exciting things coming up on the channel. I'm super excited about it. I'm going to be partnering with a company. I'll be doing a full video about that, and I'm super excited about it, and doing some disc reviews for Gateway, including their newest mold that just came out, which is an overmold from them called the Odyssey. Very excited about that. And I'm probably gonna get some fun clips from Salt Lake City, and the channel has grown to over 1,600 subscribers now. And I'm amazed, and I'm shocked, and I'm grateful for all of you. And like I said, I still want to do something as a celebration for that, like a giveaway of a sort or something like that. So just let me know in the comments any ideas y'all might have for that. As always, love y'all. Stay snappy. See you in the next one.